Victor Osimhen to Chelsea is a deal that looks very complicated. However, Chelsea have offered him a contract and now it's time for him to decide because Saudi Arabia have offered him a 4-year deal or 160 million euros net. I'm going to explain to you what he's going to do and what is going to have to happen for Chelsea to secure this asset. Furthermore, we have got the latest news with Raheem Sterling now being linked with an Arsenal move. Yes, Arsenal Football Club have offered him some wages. He's accepted, but it's a matter of one condition being met. I'm going to tell you what it is. Jadon Sancho is driving a move to Chelsea apparently. Whilst Manchester United and Juventus have agreed a deal, Jadon Sancho wants London. And we are going to talk about what this means and the ramifications of this transfer deadline day for Chelsea's transfer news today. Furthermore, we have got 3 confirmations on Petrovic, Lukaku, and Kepa Arrizabalaga, and there are 5 other players Chelsea are trying to move on deadline day that I'm going to explain to you who they are, what we need to do, and this is going to be your one-stop shop. The reality is this is transfer deadline day. You're going to see players, agents in Greg's, you're going to hear someone's in Morrison's and someone's in Sainsbury's. But the reality is I'm going to give you all the information that we have up until this point, and later this evening around about 7 or 8 o'clock UK time, I'm going to drop the final video giving you a summary of this transfer window. So without further ado, you're clearly interested in what I'm saying. I need you lot to wash your hands when you get into the house. That's the first thing you do. So in this case, hit the like button. Let's aim for 2,000 likes. If you want Victor Osimhen at this club, hit the like button and hopefully it's a good omen. I personally don't want him, but it is what it is. Finally, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's a good place where we have a community. We disagree all the time. However, we keep it respectful. And finally, at the end of the video, I'm going to link the match review for the Civet games. It was posted really late. A lot of you were asleep, but now you can catch up on the match review and my thoughts straight after the game, and give me your thoughts in the comment section below. So make sure you stay tuned till the end and hit that like button and follow the video through. Now let's start with the news. Alright gang, what we need to understand here is Victor Osimhen is a very good player. Victor Osimhen is a great player. And Victor Osimhen is being offered money that is life-changing. As somebody that comes from Georgia, right? And in Georgia, I wasn't raised in the most fortunate way. Yes, we had food on the table, but we never had anything I could get, anything I wanted on blast, right? So the reality is for me, I'm picturing this as if I'm Victor Osimhen. If I was offered 160 million euros across 4 years, do you know how many lives I could change? Do you know how many family members would be comfortable? Do you know how many friends and families would be comfortable? Do you know how different my life would be? And more importantly, how different people's lives around me would be for generations. So we need to consider the money he is being offered. And we can't just look at it, oh, but he's getting paid 10 million a year by Chelsea, or he's going to be getting 8 million a year. It's still a lot of money. There's a big difference between 8 million a year, 40 million a year. It makes a huge difference. So we need to understand that there are different factors involved here other than just where he's going to kick football and where most importantly his career is going to take him. There's more to life than football. I think that's one thing we can definitely agree on. So the reality is, what do we know up till this point? We know that Iqbali, Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, according to Fabrice Hawkins and L'Equipe, have travelled across to Naples. Yes, Todd Bowley, according to Fabrizio Romano, has already been there leading the negotiations with Victor Osimhen's camp and Napoli. So the reality is these conversations have been happening. Chelsea want the sign-off from the player. Chelsea want him to take a pay cut to come in line with the rest of their players, and when they're in the Champions League, they'll reassess his wages. This is Chelsea's stance. A lot of you in the comments are consistently saying he shouldn't have to take a pay cut. Guys, when you're doing the negotiations, one party has their stance, one party has their stance. It's about meeting in the middle, right? If you want the deal to happen. If you don't want the deal to happen, you don't need to meet in the middle. It's as simple as that. So I understand Chelsea saying, you fall in line with our strategy because we're the only European club that won. If it's important for you to play in England because it's your dream, this is the offer. Alternatively, Saudi Arabia and Al Ahly is offering him 40 million euros a year net, meaning after tax, this man gets 40 million euros a year, 160 million euros in 4 years, and Napoli receive 80 million euros. There is going to be a lot of external pressure from his agent, from Napoli for Victor Osimhen to go. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, the final decision remains with Victor. This is consistent with what we've heard in the last week too. We know Victor will decide what he's going to do. Osimhen is going to decide where he goes, what's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. He is in charge. He might have external forces putting pressure on him, but at the end of the day, he decides. I am going to tell you right now, if he decides to go to Saudi Arabia, he's not going to get any criticism from me. Because personally, I wouldn't pay him the crazy wages. If he falls in line with our wage structure, he is more than welcome. I just expect him to deliver great numbers. Because I think he's a great player. Great players need to deliver great numbers on big wages. However, if he goes to Saudi Arabia, I will not call him a sellout. I'm just going to call him human, because the money is unbelievable, people. The stuff I could do with that kind of money, it would be life-changing. I can't judge somebody for doing something that I would consider. Like, I genuinely would consider it. 160 million euros across 4 years to go play in Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia. Listen, European football ain't for everyone, innit? He might not want to play. He might want to get paid. The next story is regarding Raheem Sterling. So there's this ITK account, Team News, Adax or something like that. When it comes to Arsenal news, this guy is on point. I think he was one of the first to tell us about Havertz going there. He knew the Partey news. He is very much somebody that is an ITK, right? You know, he is definitely in the know. So what he's reporting is that Raheem Sterling has had ongoing discussions with Mikel Arteta and Arsenal and has agreed to take a pay cut. He has agreed to fall in line with their wage structure if it means it would facilitate a move from Chelsea to Arsenal. He would love to have that move happen. Arsenal are willing to make it happen. However, and this is where it gets tricky, Arsenal don't want to pay a fee. They want to get him for free. And Chelsea want a fee. Chelsea want to balance the book. They said Raheem Sterling's book value is X amount. We need to balance it. We can't take hits on the book. We'll loan him. We'll do whatever it takes. We need to make the math. And the reality is, this is where it gets very interesting. Do I want to send Raheem Sterling to Arsenal? No. Under no circumstances do I want to send him to Arsenal. Raheem Sterling, in my opinion, is better than Gabriel Martinelli. Raheem Sterling, in my opinion, is better than Leandro Trossard. In that system, with Martin Odegaard threading passes through, with Gabby Jesus and Kai Havertz there and Bukayo Saka, I think he elevates them. I think he makes them even better. I don't know whether he's the deciding factor to win the league, but I think he makes them better. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is send him to Manchester United. If it means we get Jadon Sancho in return, so be it. But if we can get him to Manchester United, to Juventus, so be it. He's out of sight, out of mind, not a threat. If he goes to Manchester United, I don't believe that he would elevate United to be a top 4 contender. I don't think so. But I think in a team that is as well structured and well oiled as Arsenal, this could happen. This is one to watch. We're going to find out what's going to happen. The final story about incomings to Chelsea is regarding Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho had a loan with an obligation accepted from Manchester United, and he was on his way to Juventus. This was confirmed from the Italian media. This was a massive thing. The United stand was talking about. Mark Goldbridge was basically having a parade around his garage or wherever he records. But the reality is, this deal's far from over. So what we're hearing now from Fabrice Hawkins is that, and this is from L'Equipe, at this moment in time, Jadon Sancho has got 2 offers on the table. He has spoken to Thiago Motta, who is the manager of Juventus, and has basically reassured him, look, I am interested in coming. However, I have an offer from Chelsea. He has spoken to Chelsea and is willing to move to Chelsea. But Chelsea need to shift Raheem Sterling to make the money available to go get Jadon Sancho. And this is where I start asking questions. And this is where my curiosity goes. If we get Jadon Sancho, do we need Victor Osimhen? Do we just go with Nicholas Jackson as the 9 and false 9s as backups in Christopher Nkunku, Joao Felix, Jadon Sancho, Cole Palmer? Do we just do that? Do we just go with Noni Madueke on the right? You have him giving competition with Pedro Neto. On the left-hand side, you have Pedro Neto, Joao Felix, and what's his name? It's Jadon Sancho. Number 9s, we can have Felix, Palmer, Nkunku, Jackson. And number 8s advanced, you can have Nkunku, Felix, and Palmer. Like, genuinely, we are spoiled for choices at that point. I don't know what I want. Because the reality is, I think Jadon Sancho is very talented. I think Jadon Sancho is a player that's got tremendous talent. And if he joins Chelsea, I'll convince myself he's good enough to be making an impact. Misha's the one I would try move, innit? Like, I'd find a way to get Mudryk out the club. However, and this is a big however, and this is a big problem, I would prefer, actually, the more I think about it, sending him to Juve. Manchester United sends him to Juve, and then we can just relax a little bit. And we just don't sign anyone else unless we go get Victor Osimhen on a discounted price. So it's one of those things. Let's sit back. Let's wait what happens. It's interesting. Fabrizio's saying Sancho's pushing for the move for London. He wants the London move. Whether he gets it, it's another question. Now a quick roundup of what's been announced and what we could expect to happen from an outgoings front. This is going to be super quick. So, number 1, Romelu Lukaku has been announced officially as a Napoli player. He has signed it. The move was 30 million euros plus 15 million in add-ons plus 30 million in a sell-on. This is confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Furthermore, Kepa Arrizabalaga has gone to Bournemouth. This is a done deal. This is, he's reuniting with Areola again. This is a good move for him. He gets to play. Chelsea don't use an international spot. Happy days. They are contributing to majority of his wages. More importantly, there's a loan, but there's no obligation to buy. He signed another year, so we amortize his fee even more. Great. Then we've got Petrovic that has gone to Strasbourg. Petrovic initially was against going to Strasbourg because I believe he decided that I'm too good to go to Strasbourg. Like, I played for Chelsea. I was a starter. I've got a taste of this. Now it's important. What Chelsea did was sit him down and convince him that if he gets better with his feet and his ball playing ability, next year they can reassess and reintegrate him into the team if he's better than Robert Sanchez and Jurgensen. So genuinely, this is a good move. He's gone on loan. It's a dry loan. And it's going to be phenomenal news for Strasbourg because they get a player that is a very good goalkeeper. He gets to develop there and hopefully they have a great, phenomenal season. Genuinely can't complain about that move, right? Now, the 5 players that we need to take a look at. The 5 players. Carney Chukwuemeka, according to Fabrizio Romano, is going to be deciding what's going to happen with his future. Personally, I really hope he stays and he somehow gets an opportunity in that Conference League team because he's better than Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. There's no one that can convince me otherwise. Then Ben Chilwell has had an inquiry from Brentford. Brentford have looked into him and are trying to see whether there's something occurring there. That's coming from Fabrizio Romano. He's another one we need to keep an eye on. Angelo and David Washington, I don't know what's happening with those two, but they are in the loan squad and they're most probably going to need to find themselves some loans to go play football somewhere, and that would be good for them. Furthermore, David Datro Fofana is on his way out of Chelsea. They need to find a place for him to go, and that's it at this moment in time. That's the players I got on the list. Let me know your thoughts, guys. But before you go across to watch the Serviette response, would you take the money for what's his name that Osimhen's being offered? Yes or no? Leave that in the comments. Drop a pineapple if you would. And now, go watch the Serviette review. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day.